Hey, I'm Liv, and I did a first impressions video on the Amazon Halo Band. I've been wearing it for about 3 weeks now, and I'm ready to give you my final thoughts. So let's get on with it. Okay, we're gonna go into the pros and cons of each section in this order: aesthetic, battery, tone, and features. I wore this at the same time as my Fitbit Versa 2. I wore them both together for 2 weeks. I wanted to see a comparison and I checked all of the data against each other. For the most part, it was pretty similar. I also generally tried to charge them both at the same time. You can jump to any point by using the chapters or the timestamps below. Throughout this time, my Fitbit looked beautiful. The copper and wine band looks perfect and completely unblemished, and it did the whole time. By contrast, the Halo band became grungy almost instantly. I've already replaced the band and I placed it in the packaging of the new band replacement, as you can see. So this band, it looks horrendous. It became grungy instantly. According to my husband, it looks like a used Band-Aid, and I cannot see anything other than that now. It 100% looks like a used Band-Aid, and it grosses me out. This is not my color choice. Normally, I would have chosen the black band, but this was the one that would ship soon as opposed to a couple weeks' time. I also do like the copper. As you can see, the device itself is copper, and that's an aesthetic that I quite like. Additionally, the sides of the band became quite gunky. Perhaps you can see that I have cleaned it. I'm not sure if this is my moisturizer or what, but this was not present on the Fitbit, which is honestly kind of identical in finish. So don't know what's up with that. With the default watch band, it was quite annoying to take off. You can only open it as far as this end piece right here, and then it sort of snags on these Velcro bits here. So when you're trying to do this with one hand, it can be quite annoying. I don't understand why they included this band and this type of band, this fabric thing, for all the starting bands, unless it's literally to set you up to have to buy a new one, which makes me mad. They literally set you up to spend more. The replacement band that I got is by Amazon, so why this can't be the one that comes with it, I don't know. This is called the Sport Accessory Band, this new one that I got, but it is a sport device, really. It's a fitness device, is largely what it focuses on, so why wouldn't you give the lovely silicone, comfortable, resistant band instead of this gunky, horrible fabric thing that looks like a hospital Band-Aid bracelet, hospital bracelet crossed with a Band-Aid. I don't understand. Now, changing out the device itself was extremely simple. I was surprised by that and very pleased. With this new band on, it looks very simple, it looks very pretty, and it even seems to diminish the fact that it stands out quite a bit. I like it a lot. On that note though, seriously, would it be that hard to have some kind of interactivity from this device? Even something on here that changes color based on how much activity you do. It could go green when you hit your goal and yellow when you're getting close or something, or yellow when you're sitting too long, whatever. Like, you could change that. Why couldn't there be something? Even if the light did some kind of response in that regard. The light, the only time I really noticed the light was when I hook it up to charge it, and even doing that is a little cumbersome. It doesn't always clip in, so I would wiggle it around until I see the red lights, and then you know that it's charging. Other than that, there's literally no response from this device. There's no haptic response. There's no change of color, anything. Seriously, just a clock would be so nice. This button, you were supposed to use it with the tone feature, like you could set it to, you press it to record a conversation as important or something. That's not what I'm trying to record in my day. That's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in reminders to move, being active, counting my steps. I love the Fitbit challenges with friends and stuff like that. I'm not really gonna be recording my conversations intentionally. And if I'm having an intense conversation, I'm probably not gonna be thinking about, oh, I have to record it, haha. You know, there were multiple times that I looked at this watch and was disappointed that it didn't have a screen, because I've spent most of my life being trained at that response, that you look at your watch for that. You look at your watch for the time. And then when I first got a cell phone, I sort of trained myself out of it and would look at my cell phone for the time. But then when I got a Fitbit, I started getting used to it again. And now it's something I love. I love not always grabbing my phone to see things. I love checking a text message, checking the time, checking how many steps I've done, or even starting a workout on my watch. I really like that. And then on that note, since 2020, I've been doing Zoom workouts with my gym most mornings. The class is from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. and then I have work at 8. So it's very timed, and I didn't realize quite how much I check my watch during the workout. While they're instructing us to warm up or whatever, I'll check my watch and see how much time I have. Can I hop on my Airdyne and add in a couple hits or something like that? There were so many times that I had to ask my husband what the time was because I didn't have my phone right with me, and I would just be looking at my watch. The lack of a screen bugged me more than I thought it would. I mean, I thought it would, but even more so. In regards to battery, I kept the tone on for a full 2 weeks. And with the tone on, I had to charge the band virtually every day. I say virtually because it was about 1.25 days. So I would normally go to sleep with it on and then wake up the next morning, and about 9 a.m. or something like that, I would start getting a notification saying band battery at 20%. And then surprisingly quickly after that, it would be 10% and then it was dying and I'd have to run and charge it. I tried to charge my Fitbit and the Halo band together, but with the tone activated, I couldn't do that. At no point did my Fitbit run out of battery at all. I could pop it in on a random occasion for 20 minutes and that was it. I was good to go for a couple days. With tone activated, the Halo band literally hemorrhages battery. After the 2 weeks, I wanted to give it the full 2 weeks to see what the tone experience was like and what benefit it could give me. So after the 2 weeks, I turned tone off and now the battery's great. I've been wearing it for about a week since then and I have not gotten any battery notifications. I actually charged it yesterday just because it was weirding me out that I hadn't gotten any notifications and I wasn't sure if it had died because there's no response. I can't look at a screen and I honestly don't go in the app much. I think it is a real bummer how pitiful the battery is with their main selling point activated, which is tone, onto tone. So I kept it on to see whether it benefited me and whether it was active, and neither of those were true. I found that I would peek at the app at the end of the day occasionally and it would say things like, you had 7 notable moments. At 10:59, you had one phrase that sounded amused or playful or something like that. What was this phrase? I don't know. I didn't record it. Could I see any details? No. Does it matter? No. What does that benefit me? Nothing. Because then ultimately, there are a couple different kind of smiley faces: happy, sad, angry, disconcerted, whatever, amused. And it sort of tells you which of those you were most in during the day. And what it very shortly started to feel like was that it reminded me of that whole you should smile more, you'd look prettier kind of thing, kind of external validation, which completely puts me off this. Because honestly, I feel like in my life, I'm generally way too concerned about what people think and what people feel. I'm so aware of that. I've had periods where I fixate on that. And I'd love to say that I don't care what other people think, but that's not the case. And it's something I work on very hard. I don't know, maybe I'm alone or maybe you like me too, but I care a lot of what other people think and how I sound to other people. I mean, I'm talking to you right now on YouTube. I'm not screaming. I'm projecting my voice. I'm aware of this, and I'm sure you are too when you're having a conversation. I try not to. And this whole tone system thing feels like a step in the wrong direction. It feels like fixating even more on how one presents oneself to other people instead of on how one feels. Am I happy? Am I amused? That's what matters, not did I appear so. And sure, it may be like the power pose, you feel strong, the Brené Brown, I'm sure you've seen it. Pose like you're strong so you feel strong, right? Sure. To a point, but let's not fixate on it, okay? It could just be one of their labs, which we'll get to, that encourages you to smile for your own benefit, not for others, or things like that. I don't know. It feels like this is totally going about it the wrong way. The only beneficial situation that I could envision someone benefiting from this is maybe if someone is neurodiverse and has difficulty interpreting how the outside world sees them or hears them or how their behavior affects the outside world. I don't know at all. I don't know. I'm making an assumption. Perhaps that could be, maybe, but I don't know. That's all I could imagine. For me, it truly feels like a codependent encouragement for external validation. continually all day. Do I sound happy enough? What does that matter? Am I happy? I'm happy right now, but I don't sound happy. I'm sure the watch band would be like, ugh, she's so upset. I don't know. And also, I don't know if there are different ways to set things. For example, people express their emotions differently. Some people are very enthusiastic and exuberant. I can be that kind of person quite often. My husband is not often. You could give him a present and he'd say, oh, cool. And that means, wow, I love it. You have to know that, right? And if the band didn't know that, well, and see, that's the thing. Learning to communicate better in relationships is something I feel very strongly about. And I love that. I always want to learn to communicate better and to sort of coax myself into being a better person every day. But I don't think that this is the way to do it. I think that it's communicating with the people around me and learning to be respectful about the ways that my behavior affects them. Not because an app tells me, but because I'm communicating with that person and understanding how they express themselves and how I express myself. Communication. Ugh. On that note, there was one particular day that my husband and I had a miscommunication, and I was very, very sad for 5 hours. I was miserable. I'm sure I sounded that way, or maybe I didn't speak much at all, but none of this was indicated on the app. And I was actually kind of excited to go look at it later that night after the miscommunication was cleared up. And I was like, wow, this is a great opportunity, but nothing was indicated. I don't think that there was even any sadness that day at all. Okay, so features. There are a lot of features in this app, many of which you don't necessarily need the band for, including the body scan. You don't need the band for a body scan. And I put this video off for a week because I didn't want to do the body scan. It's not positive for me. That's not to say that I don't think that being a healthy weight is important. I do. I struggle with this, but that metric and the scan was very detrimental to me. And from my research, I have now discovered it is also not super accurate. So what's the point? Within the app, there are many other things you can do. There are lots of labs you can do. There are workouts. You can sort of sign up for them and then you'll get reminders to do them. I said that I was going to do a workout. I signed up for a mindfulness thing, a meditation thing. I didn't do any of it. I don't really want to go into the app. I don't want to go into another app. I have a fitness program that works well for me. I do it many days a week. When I'm not doing that, I like to do online dance classes. I like to hula hoop. I already have things that I like to do. So I think that I am not the target demographic. I'm not super sure who the target demographic is, but if you don't have a consistent workout program that you love, then I think you might enjoy the app because there are lots and lots of options. It seems like there are lots of guided things for you to do. This would be very fun. If you are looking for something, if you're looking for guidance, if you're looking for a very versatile range of options, you could try a bunch of different things. You could have a lot of variety. If I didn't have a consistent workout program, I might find that beneficial, but I just didn't have the need for it. I didn't have any gaps in being active that I wanted to fill with this. Actually, kind of the opposite, because I spent the last week in a wheelchair. If you don't know, I am an amputee from a bombing, so being in a wheelchair occasionally is something that I just have to do to heal. And there wasn't really anywhere that I could find in the app to sort of indicate that that was a big change I was going through, right? And when I'm in a wheelchair, I don't shut down and stop doing things. I crawl around on knee pads. I still work out every morning. Sometimes I do it with my leg on. I should explain. I'm an amputee. I take my leg off during the day when I'm trying to heal and then spend the time in the wheelchair on these occasions. But I might do my morning workout with my leg on because it's just a lot easier. So I actually found the app to be demotivating because I would go in there and it would have down symbols and sad things indicating that I wasn't reaching the heart points or anything like that. As opposed to my Fitbit, which would just tell me how many steps I got, what messages I had. I could start a workout with it, how much sleep I had. There didn't seem to be a sort of a judgment factor. And perhaps I'm just like way too sensitive about this stuff and I can get extra sensitive when I'm in an injured space. But I didn't find it beneficial. I missed my Fitbit and I found this to be a detrimental experience. I found the metrics to be negatively motivating and just encouraged me not to look at the device. I do love metrics. I love gamifying fitness. I love making it fun and playful. But at a certain point, I feel like metrics can remove me from paying attention to my body. I would rather focus more on how I'm feeling mentally, physically, emotionally. Am I being kind to myself? Am I treating myself poorly in any way in the things that I do or the food that I feed myself? Anything like that can change. And I don't need an app to tell me that. As someone who is in chronic pain typically and who has a history of eating disorders, I have a tendency to disconnect from my body anyways. And I'm trying very hard to learn how to be focused, be present, be connected. And this was detrimental. So ultimately, that is a thumbs down, and I cannot wait to get my Fitbit back on. This to me gamifies fitness and being active. It's enough of a smartwatch. I would love it if it was more of a smartwatch, but anyways, Fitbit over the Amazon Halo Band by far for me. Take everything what I said with a grain of salt. Use your own best judgment. Perhaps you are the person that this is made for or that would most benefit from this. If you did like this device, please don't be insulted by my opinion. It is merely my own and you are super entitled to yours too. On that note, I would love it if you shared your opinion down below. It would be very interesting to hear from other people who have tried this device too, or this Fitbit, or if there's something else that you love too. If you found this video helpful, interesting, informative, whatever, I hope you do hit subscribe down below, give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't like it. Wherever you are, I hope you're having the best day that you possibly can. Be kind to the people around you, and thanks for hanging out.